These are the sunny shores of Sanibel, a touristic hotspot located in southwest Florida. But for the past 10 months, waters here hold a deadly trap. A toxic algae bloom, known as the red tide, has invaded the coastline, killing vast numbers of marine life.
So this is what's known as a mass mortality event, and it is affecting, again, animals all the way from the tiniest little coquina shells all the way up to whale sharks. That toxin is going to move up the food chain, and as it does, it's going to go through something known as bioaccumulation, which means if you're the top end predator, the dolphin or the sea turtle that's eating things like blue crabs, that's going to have very concentrated levels of toxin.
This tide is caused by a high concentration of a microorganism called Carina brevis. When this algae appears naturally, it does so in small pockets and only during the colder months of the year. So to explain these higher and longer concentrations, environmentalists blame fertilizer runoffs from farms and crops.
So industrial runoff, agricultural runoff, suburban runoff, all of that is definitely going to contribute to an increase in the amount of nutrients that are out there. And again, what we're seeing is every year they're getting worse, and there's lots of things that contribute to that, like global warming.
We spoke to a local cleaning crew earlier, and they told us that they were cleaning this very same beach just 24 hours ago. And now, as you can see, there's hundreds of dead fish. Actually, since August the 1st, in this area alone, there was over 300 tons of dead fish collected. That gives us an idea of the magnitude, the scale of this environmental tragedy that's affecting southwest Florida.
The problem is so big that Governor Rick Scott issued a state of emergency for 7 Gulf Coast counties in the path of the red tide bloom. This frees up additional funding for economic development, recovery and research.
The red tide is killing record numbers of wildlife down here in southwest Florida, but it's also affecting humans. Respiratory problems have been reported when being too close to the shore. Actually, I can feel right now how my throat is itching. But then we can't forget, this area is heavily dependent on tourism and the fishing industry.
And with less fish, toxic waters and dirty beaches, tourists are starting to turn their backs on the west coast of Florida.
Sí, enorme. Ya no hay mucha gente en las playas, no veo nadie pescando. En los hoteles aquí todos están, ya se van, todos, nadie quiere estar aquí, huele muy feo y todos están viendo cuántos animales están muertos y los molesta y se quieren ir de aquí.
This is the longest bloom southwest Florida has experienced in more than a decade, and scientists still can't say when the red tide will go away. But the real concern now is if both marine life and the local community will be able to come through this natural disaster. Nicholas O'Donovan, RT.